Hello, everybody, and welcome to Embracing Your Essence on Lilydale Radio. I am Colleen Vanderzyden, the host of this show, and on this show, we talk about all sorts of things to help you live in your truth and loving the life you have. So as you are joining in, do say hello, and while I'm waiting for y'all to join in and see me, I will just give you a little, some of the details of what's going to go on tonight. We are going to be talking about handling uncertainty. And if you are alive, you have probably felt uncertainty and gotten caught up in it, maybe. And that's okay, because I'm going to give you some ideas to help you get out of that so you don't feel quite so overwhelmed by uncertainty. So that is what we're going to talk about tonight. And again, as you're joining in, do say hello. And I'll just give you our details. As I said, I'm Colleen Vanderzyden. I am a registered medium in Lilydale. I'm also a certified empowerment coach, and I am the author of this book, Courageously You. My Facebook page is Colleen Vanderzyden, Medium and Empowerment Coach, as I said, and that is the page you want to be on this evening if you're going to ask questions. We also have Lilydale Assembly Incorporated, which is the official Facebook page for Lilydale. LilydaleAssembly.org is the website, and my website is ColleenVanderzyden.com. I have given you all of the details. That's all you need to know to live your life. Hi, Julie. Let's see. Hi, Julie. Hi, Tammy. Hi, Ashley. Hi, Jade. Hi, Jan. And thank you for joining me this evening, everybody. We are going to have some fun tonight. And last night I did soul guidance readings, a special session where I only had 10 people and everybody got a reading. We had so much fun, or at least I had fun. I hope they had fun too. But I got to meet and see people's pictures. I could see who they are because I know some of their names, and I got to talk to them and tell them how wonderful they are and what their beautiful soul qualities are, and it was so much fun getting to know these beautiful souls so much better. And I'm thinking about doing it again because I had so much fun. So if you think you might be interested in having a soul guidance session, joining a private one where you actually get a reading guaranteed, let me know. Write it in the comments. Hi, I said hi to Jan. Hi, Kyle. Nice to see you. Hi, Doug. Martin, we got the mail you sent us today. Thank you. I'm so glad you got it. Excellent. Excellent. And so, as I said, tonight we are going to be talking about, hi, Tina. We are going to be talking about handling uncertainty. I do want to mention, because we need these things, I have a freebie listed right up there in the description for you, a free gift for you, The Empowered Path to Inner Peace. 9 ways to create inner peace even in chaos. If you haven't gotten it yet, and you haven't downloaded it yet, make sure you do. The inside there, it's a little ebook, and it has a whole bunch of ways to help you get back in your power so you can have more peace. We need that stuff lately, it seems. There's so much going on out there, so these things can help you. So, hi, Meg, nice to see you. Hi, Evelyn. Hi, Jackie. Okay, so let's just get to it. Again, if you're just joining in, I am Colleen Vanderzyden, registered medium, certified empowerment coach, and I love to help people live in their truth. I love to help people handle problems. I love to help people recognize how amazing and powerful they are. So every week on this show, I talk about something that can be helpful for you. Hi, Jackie. Hi, Sharon. And so tonight, what we are going to do, we are going to talk about handling uncertainty. We're going to talk about a few ways to shift your mindset so you can have more peace. And we will have time for questions too. So for some personal guidance. Hi, Michelle. And so we will be doing that tonight. So our minds despise uncertainty. Have you noticed this? Our minds despise it. And we have in our brain a natural, innate negativity bias where we're always scanning the horizon, looking for the next problem so we can be safe, right? If we keep looking for a problem, we feel like we're going to be safer. And what this is doing is actually trying to protect us from potential problems. This can be helpful if we are navigating a jungle and trying to avoid tigers or walking in a back alley at midnight. However, our mind does not distinguish between a true life-threatening fear and the fear that comes from a more generalized uncertainty, the uncertainty of not knowing what's next, right? The unknown. The mind thinks both are equally as dangerous. While specific action is needed for an immediate threat, like a tiger. We have to run, freeze, take a different path. There is no specific action available to handle the fear of uncertainty. Like it's not obvious what to do. So the mind resorts to coping mechanisms that can actually make us feel worse. Isn't that horrible? Oh, that's what we do. I'm just going to say hello for people for a sec. Hi, Kyle. Awesome. I think I'm going to do that soul guidance session. It'll be fun. Hi, Yolanda. Jade loved the soul reading. Would highly recommend. Yay, thanks. Hi, Jeannie. So, knowing how we respond to uncertainty can help us handle it from a healthier perspective. So I'm just going to go over, hi Amy, I'm just going to go over a few ways that we typically try to handle uncertainty and just see if any of these resonate with you, where you say to yourself, ooh, I do that, because I know as I looked through it, there were several things that I thought, ooh, I do that for sure. So one of the, hi Amy, I said already, and hi Carolyn, one of our primary methods in attempting to feel better when we have uncertainty is ding, 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 worrying, right? Worrying. We can get stuck about worrying about potential outcomes or possible problems. It's almost like we think if we worry enough, we'll somehow find that magical solution. And this rarely, and probably more realistically, never happens. Have you ever noticed the more you worry, you get the answer? No, it doesn't work that way. Worrying makes us feel worse. We lose the connection to ourselves. We become ungrounded. We can be overwhelmed in emotion. We can't think. We disconnect from living in the present. It's like we step outside of ourselves and are no longer in our body. So the first thing we do when we're handling uncertainty is we have this coping mechanism of worrying. The second thing we do is we imagine worst case scenarios. We catastrophize situations, right? We take something and we turn it into this big, gigantic story. So for example, if my marriage ends, I'll run out of money, I'll lose my house, I'll be homeless and living on the streets and starve to death. Okay, that's catastrophizing, where we take something that's happening and make it bigger, bigger, bigger. Our mind creates horrible potential scenarios that amplify our fear and worry rather than calming the mind. And that's what we really want to do, right, is calm our mind. But when we do this, creating these scenarios, we feel so much worse. I read this awesome, great phrase by Dr. Rue Wilson. She calls this toxic time travel. Isn't that awesome? Toxic time travel. We make up this story about the future, and it is toxic, and it's disempowering, and it's fearful, and all it does is make us feel more scared and stuck. These stories aren't real. They're illusions, and we end up getting stuck in those and feeling worse and worse. That's the second one, right? Catastrophizing. Third one, we can get caught in questions of why and the negative what ifs. Why is this happening? Why isn't it getting better? Why can't I fix it? What if I lose my house, partner, job, whatever? What if I'm never happy again? What if I actually deserve all of these bad things? Isn't it amazing what our mind can do? Next, this can turn into self-judgment. Our inner critic says there must be something wrong with us because we can't make ourselves feel better. Or why can't we fix whatever is unknown or wrong, even if it's outside of our control? And we start judging ourselves for not being able to fix something that we can't fix or change. All of that, self-judgment, evolves into self-doubt. This looks like asking other people what to do, wanting other people to give us the answers, or repeatedly asking other people if a possible solution is the right one. Does this make sense to you? Do you think I should do this? Da, 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 da. That's what we do, right? And then what happens with this self-doubt is we become paralyzed, unable to make a decision. Have you ever felt like that? Oh my. Then we procrastinate. We just want someone to tell us what to do. If somebody would tell us what our next step is, what we should do, we'll feel better, is what our mind tells us. And because of all this, then we feel out of control, helpless, and hopeless. Uncertainty is Oh, it's a horrible thing, right? It makes us feel so out of control. So what happens then is we turn into control freaks and perfectionists because we try to do everything right. And if we try to do everything right, if everything is controlled, nothing will go wrong, no one will judge us, and we will feel safer. Right? Our mind is making these things up. And then the last thing, and I'm sure there's more, but the last thing on my list for handling uncertainty and how we have these unhealthy coping mechanisms is when we're feeling overwhelmed with it, some people cope by numbing themselves. They detach from others, they withdraw, they hide in their house, they drink or eat too much, etc. Can you see yourself in any of these? Like, which coping mechanisms do you use? I would love for you to write them in the chat, because when you see what everybody writes, you will know you're not alone, and there's nothing wrong with you for using these unhealthy coping mechanisms. Nobody's really told us what to do, so we just do our best, right? And Courtney, guilty of all of that. I think my worst one is I just get caught in the worrying sometimes. I don't catastrophize so much anymore, but I used to, I can tell you that. And then, of course, wouldn't it be wonderful if somebody would just tell us what to do, and then we wouldn't have to figure it out and go through the pain of figuring it out, right? So what do you do? Now, here's the thing. Here's the reason why I wanted to talk about that. Because when you understand what you typically do and you start to see it for what it is, a coping mechanism, and that there's nothing wrong with you, okay? Drill that into your head. There is nothing wrong with you. You're doing the best you can to handle a very uncomfortable situation, whatever the situation might be. Uncertainty is kind of scary, right? Meg, hibernate. Kathy, so sad I use all of these. Retail therapy. Oh, I can relate. Sometimes I like doing that myself. Deborah, hide from people, right? If you ever feel like you want to run away and not talk to anybody, you're probably getting concerned about something that's uncertain, or you're overwhelmed energetically or emotionally. Shayna, yes. Ashley, I also hibernate, right? And so I'm going to reiterate for the 100th time, it seems like over the last few years here, there's nothing wrong with you. You're doing the best you can. But I am going to talk about some ways to reframe this. Okay, I've got lots of ideas to help you. Heather, I would love someone to tell me what to do all the time. I grew up with that, and now I need it back. Ooh, if you have now, and here's the thing, right? We don't want to give our power away to other people to necessarily tell us what to do. However, if we have somebody we really trust and we can have an honest, open conversation, that is a beautiful thing. And we should definitely use that, okay, without giving our power away and only doing what other people tell us to do. I like to joke with people sometimes. Don't listen to what other people tell you, except when I tell you that, because I'm right, okay? So, right, I joke about that sometimes. Amy says a little bit of everything. Courtney, I get social anxiety and feel like I can't leave my house unless I really have to, right? And the things I'm going to talk about tonight are really going to help us handle the uncertainty. And there's so much out there in the world, plus also in our own lives too, right? We're at crossroads. We don't know what to do. We don't know where we're going. We can just feel so stuck. So, oh yes, Kristen, uncertainty can be crippling, right? So, I've got some thoughts for you. And if you guys are joining me, I am on my page here on Facebook, Colleen Vanderzyden, Medium and Empowerment Coach. If you want to make comments, ask questions in a bit or whatever, you want to be over here on my page, because I can't see you if you're on a different page. So you need to be on my personal business page here. So getting back to it. Life is full of uncertainty and surprising, unexpected outcomes, right? It is. It's full of uncertainty and surprising, unexpected outcomes. Some of these things are unpleasant and some of them are wonderful. Some things come out of uncertainty that are wonderful. Michelle, I was drowning in uncertainty today, decided I need to shut it off and just have a nap. And that's a great way to do it, right? Now, some things can be controlled and many cannot. Right? Tom, very wise, right? Uncertainty isn't the problem. How I respond is the problem. And that's what we're talking about tonight. Uncertainty after grief and settling in a state. Oh, right? So much there. The unhealthy coping mechanisms. Okay, now listen up, because now I'm telling you what to do in a good way. Try these ideas out. They'll help, believe me. The unhealthy coping mechanisms are a sign that we're resisting the uncertainty. rather than accepting that life is full of uncertainty. And this is actually normal, resisting it and knowing that life is full of uncertainty. If you're tired of worrying, catastrophizing, getting caught in the whys and the what ifs, stuck in the voice of your inner critic, feeling paralyzed, being a control freak or a perfectionist, or feeling numb, stop resisting and simply accept that life is life. Life is uncertain. Things happen that we don't have control over. Acceptance is interesting. People sometimes think that if we accept whatever is happening, that unpleasant circumstance or situation, if we accept it, that it's giving up in despair, that it's a failure of some sort, when in actuality, acceptance is simply acknowledging a fact. It's acknowledging a fact. Life is uncertain, is a fact, right? We can all agree on that. It is a fact. We'd like it not to be that way, but it is the way it is. Your imagined worst case scenarios are not facts. They are stories based in fiction. Okay, hear me on that, right? So for example, if you are having a health crisis, something's going on, accepting that it's there, that you're having to deal with this, will actually help clear your mind. The worrying thoughts in your head will decrease. And then, with renewed clarity, you can explore which treatments will best help you. But if you're resisting what is happening, you're resisting whatever's happening in your life, a health crisis, whatever it might be. Frequently, we're stuck in emotional overwhelm, right? When we don't like something, we get stuck in our heads, right? We're probably feeling like we can't make a decision because we are resisting what's happening. So we're pushing it away, trying to ignore it, trying to make it go away in whatever way. If we're resisting, we feel worse. Instead, we move into acceptance. We take as much time as we need to move into acceptance, and it might take a little bit to process, and that's okay. Asking why life is unfair or why this is happening to you when you have a challenging situation, it doesn't help. It keeps you stuck. Imagining worst-case scenarios continues to make you feel more scared. You know I'm right, don't you? You know I'm right. And I know you're going, but, and I know, I get it, I understand. Because we're like, I don't want to accept it. Well, yes, and that's a fact. A story is if I accept it, that means I'm a failure. There's something wrong with me, that I'm never going to recover. Whatever it might be, those are stories based in fiction. Life is life and things happen. So the first step in handling uncertainty is accepting that it's there. That it's there. Just go, you know what? I'm feeling uncertain. I don't know what's going to happen. I have been saying a lot in my coaching groups the last few weeks, let's see what happens. We'll take a step and we'll see what happens. It's a perfect way to move forward in uncertainty rather than grasping at certain things, and we'll talk about that in a minute. When we accept the situation, the uncertainty of whatever it is, and just know it's there, it's the way it is, we don't have to like it. But if we accept it, it's going to make it easier. Then, along with this, related to this, is accepting how we're feeling about it, that we're scared or whatever, angry even. Okay, we accept our emotions. Lots of times we avoid our emotions, don't we? We just do. We don't want to feel them. We put them aside because they're unpleasant. We don't want to do it. But here's the thing. If we're scared, fearful, angry, whatever it might be, we have to feel it. We allow ourselves to feel it. We choose to recognize, yes, this is uncertain and it's making me feel uncomfortable. It's making me feel scared. I feel this way. It's okay, because feeling it helps us process it, which takes us back to clearing our minds so we can intentionally move forward. Okay, so acceptance is important, deciding to accept it. The next thing, okay, first one is acceptance rather than resistance. The next thing, a very helpful step in handling uncertainty, is letting go. Okay, so you're going to let go of thinking you can fix the unfixable or thinking you can control the uncontrollable. Let it go. You can't. Let it go. Let go of being a perfectionist or a control freak. Let go of the fictional stories you tell yourself about life or who you are. Let go of listening to your inner critic. He's a liar anyway. Let go of the whys and the what ifs. Okay, so letting go. The third thing, as we let go, is what we do, is we be intentional about moving into the flow. We want to go with the flow. Courtney says, I've actually been catching myself naming what I feel in my head and breathing through it. And this is so valuable for when we, especially if it's newer for us to actually feel our emotions rather than pushing them away. It's second nature for so many of us to just push those emotions away. We don't want to feel them. But if we be intentional about looking at them, naming them is great. I feel angry. I feel frustrated, impatient. I feel happy. I feel bliss. I feel joy. I feel peace. Whatever it is, as we start naming our emotions, the intensity of the more difficult ones actually decrease. And then it helps us, as she's saying, breathe through it. I'm angry, feel it, breathe through it, and you'll notice it decreases. It really does. You will never get stuck in your emotions forever. Okay, you won't. We think we will, but we won't. So that is excellent. So when we do this, right, we're letting go of those things. Now we're going in the flow. We want to go with the flow. Okay, now before I continue on for a minute, I just want to remind you, if you're going to have questions or comments, be over here on my Facebook page, Colleen Vanderzyden, Medium and Empowerment Coach, okay, because I got a little bit more to say, and then I'm going to answer your questions. Okay, Heather, when you name it, you tame it. Yes, right? And the other one is when you feel it, you heal it, right? And, emotions, there's something, but that's for a whole other show. I could go on and on about those all day. But continuing on with handling uncertainty and how to do it. We've talked about acceptance. We've talked about letting go of all those things that are in our way. And now we're talking about going in the flow. Go with the flow. When we do this in the flow, we decide not to allow unpleasant situations to hijack our mind and emotions. We don't allow our mind and emotions to get hijacked by situations. We deliberately, intentionally decide to let that go. We absolutely, again, need to feel those emotions, but we don't want to be stuck in them. When we go with the flow, we can choose to be non-reactive. To the best of our abilities, right? Again, we're going to have emotional reactions to upsetting situations, and that is great. And when we've decided to go with the flow and stop the fictional stories, it's much easier to look at the facts and choose to be non-reactive. How many times have we overreacted to something? Because in our head, we told a story to ourselves about how somebody's attacking us. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. I don't know. But we tell ourselves these stories. Then it turns into a stories of how we're not good enough. It turns into a story of we'll never have the life we want, etc., etc., etc. Right? But if we look at the facts, we can just go, well, this is happening. And that's all it is. And then let go of those stories. Then we go with the flow of life. So when we go with the flow in life, we are trusting that life is leading us to where we need to go, to learn what would be most helpful, to lead us to situations and opportunities that can be beneficial. We trust that we're going to be guided, that the helpful answers are going to come to us. And very importantly, when we are in that flow, going with the flow, we're not riding that extreme, volatile roller coaster of emotions where we're all over the map, 1 minute happy, rapidly cycling down to depression, anger, fear, etc., through all these uncontrolled emotions. In the flow, we experience more peace because we choose to disentangle from these emotions that are getting in the way of your peace. And one more thing related to going with the flow is being in the moment. When we are worried, when we're stuck, when we're fearful, when we're thinking about that uncertainty and all these potential problems, etc., 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 right? We are not present in the moment. We are stuck in our head someplace, coming up with those fictional stories. So when we go with the flow, we're in the moment. We're in the present. We're present now. When we're worrying or stuck, we're not. So we want to come back to the body. What you're doing, who are you with, where you physically are, breathing, checking in with your body. We want to bring your mind back to the present moment. People sometimes say, and some of you may recognize yourself in this, that they will only feel better when a certain situation is resolved. When this happens, then I'm going to feel better. Then I'll be happy. Then I'll have more peace, etc., etc., etc. This is a sign that you're stuck. Okay, you are stuck. And we can all relate to this thought because we've all been there at some point. I know we have. We think that if things were resolved, we would feel better and we'd feel relieved, and we might. However, here's where the problem comes in. Here's how it sounds like we could be stuck. Waiting for a certain specific outcome before you choose to feel better is going to keep you stuck in fear. You hear me? Waiting for a certain specific outcome before you choose to feel better is going to keep you stuck in fear. If you want to do that, you can. I don't recommend it, right? Don't wait for it. So what happens if we recognize we're doing this, that we are waiting? If I just knew what's going to happen, we're back to that, right? We notice when we're there, and what we want to do, we go back to acceptance. We accept that our situation is uncertain. Then we let go of wanting that specific outcome. I know you want it. I know you do. However, it's one of those things we can't control. And when we're wanting something so badly, it closes our mind down. We get too cluttered up there. We can't think. Our peace is sacrificed. So we're going to let it go. You can put it out there. I want this to be the answer, and then let it go. Okay, let it go. Let go of waiting for it to happen. Because when you do that, when you're waiting, you're putting yourself on hold. You're stuck. You're not going anywhere. You're putting yourself on hold. Okay, you're in this holding pattern. So let go of waiting for it. And then let go of thinking you can't feel better until the situation changes. This is a tough one. It's a tough one. I get it. But let go of thinking about that. Have you ever had the experience that something was going on in your life and you felt horrible and it literally seeped into every other part of your life and you were absolutely miserable? Absolutely miserable. When really what was happening was only one part of your life. But because you were so focused on it, it covered up everything else and influenced everything else. And you couldn't see the other good parts. So we let go of allowing that to happen. Let go of thinking you can't feel better until the situation changes. You can do that simply by making the choice to do that. Okay. Courtney said, the way you just said you hear me reminded me of my mom. Maybe she's talking through me. Right? So what we're doing, let go, let things go. Go with the flow. And then what happens is we move into trust and believing we can feel better, even in the uncertainty. There is so much uncertainty in everyone's lives, right? The problem is we keep focusing on how we don't know what's going to happen. Our balance, our focus is off. We are unbalanced. Instead, we want to look in a different direction. Okay, so we want to trust and believe you can feel better, even with the uncertainty, and you can. And this is tough, but if you want more peace, if you want to feel better, if you want to enjoy your life as much as you can, give yourself permission to try a new way of handling uncertainty, a new way. Whenever one of my coaching clients tells me they're worried about the future, questioning what's next, they're like, I don't know what's coming. I don't know who I am. I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what my step is, blah, blah, blah. All of those things, they're stuck in uncertainty, feeling confused and lost. Okay. And I know a lot of people like this. I've been there myself. I think we all have at some point. And I know whenever somebody tells me this, that they are not trusting the process of life. And I'm not making them wrong for that, right? Sometimes we just need a reminder to trust that it's going to be okay, to trust that we're going to be led, to trust that spirit or whatever is going to help us, to trust ourselves that we're going to do the best we can. And Carol is telling me one of my favorite teaching things. Thank you, Carol. I'm so glad somebody's listened to me. Pause, breathe, choose. Okay? Whenever you're noticing you're getting into this, you're getting lost in uncertainty, as soon as you notice it, you take a pause. You stop. Stop what's happening up here. You stop, you pause. You take a nice deep breath, because what that does is get you back in your body, out of your head. And then you're deliberate about the choices you're going to make. So I've talked about all sorts of things tonight that will help you, right? And then all of this comes together: acceptance, letting go, going with the flow, moving us into deciding to trust. This is what we call surrender. Okay, surrender isn't giving up. It is not failing, right? We always think about, I surrender, I give up, because of the stories when we were a kid, What surrender really is letting go of control and allowing our soul, the universal energy, the divine energy, spirit to guide us. All of these steps clear our mind so we can be more intentional about our next steps. Life is so much easier when we get out of our way. And when we're in our way, it's because of what's ever going on up here in our heads. So when we get out of our way and allow ourselves to be guided, even when we're surrounded by uncertainty. Okay, Laura, uncertainty can be exciting. I'm not sure what's going on behind door number 2, but I'm going to open it and find out. Exactly, right? It's kind of like, and I've used this example before in workshops and things, it's kind of like somebody gives you a present, right? They give you something and you're like, ooh, and it's a person you like. Okay, they give you a present. You don't know what it is, right? That's a perfect example of uncertainty. You don't know what it is, but if it's sometimes you open up a present and it's something really amazing, something wonderful, right? So uncertainty gave you something great, something you love, something you enjoy, something that's fun, whatever it is. And life, as I said earlier, right? Sometimes uncertainty, things come to us that aren't so pleasant. And then other times things come to us and that they're amazing out of this uncertainty. And if we really think about it, our whole life has been uncertain, hasn't it? We didn't know we were going to be at this very moment right now. Here we are all together having some fun talking about handling uncertainty. We didn't know we were going to be here, but aren't we having a good time? I know I am. And isn't it interesting to think about it that way? Part of the problem with uncertainty, however, as we've discussed, is that it tends to bring up fear, especially when there is so much change happening in the world and around us. So we do get scared. And that is perfectly normal and natural. So these ideas I've talked about tonight can be helpful. So what we want to do. Okay, the steps. I'm going to go over them just a half a second. Acceptance. Let go. Go with the flow. Trust and surrender. Okay, now a couple things to mention. Soul guidance readings. I will set up some new ones if you guys are interested in that. I do want to mention as well my Reimagine Your Life retreat coming up at the end of May. It is all about letting go of whatever is blocking you from living the life of your dreams. The tagline is create a life you can't wait to wake up to. And it is going to be in Niagara Falls. Oh my gosh, we are going to have so much fun. We are in this hotel that is closest hotel to the falls. Literally, we are like steps away from it. It's going to be awesome. So if you are interested in reimagining your life, creating the life of your dreams, creating that life you can't wait to wake up to, check it out. We have amazing hotel pricing. They gave it to us for like almost, it's like $90 less than what the normal price is in May in Niagara Falls. So they gave us an amazing deal. So definitely hang out with us for that. So if you're interested in that, check it out. The Reimagine Your Life retreat is coming up. I'll also be teaching an Unstuck class pretty soon, but I'll let you know about that. So if you have questions, you have situations in your life, you're looking for some guidance, you want to know what my guide wants to say, now is the time that you can ask those questions. So Greg, maybe you can post the Reimagine Your Life retreat there as well. So you can ask questions. Now, you do need to be on my page. Again, Colleen Vanderzyden, medium and empowerment coach. Now, as you're getting ready to ask questions or make comments or whatever, I'm going to scroll back and see what I have missed because I know some comments went by and I couldn't see them. Tom, I'm going to repeat your comment. Tom said, uncertainty isn't the problem. It's how I respond is the problem, right? And that's it exactly. And that does take us to that idea that whatever is happening in our heads is the problem, right? I don't know how many people in my, Greg, you posted the soul empowerment community again. So anyway, we'll get rid of that. So anyway, what we want to do is think about what's going on in your life and what kind of life you want to have. As humans, we want what we want, and we want it now. As humans, we want everything to be okay, right? We want everything to be working out just so. We don't want to deal with the uncertainty of life. We don't want to deal with having to being uncomfortable. But these ideas we talked about tonight are going to be so helpful for you. Absolutely so helpful. Okay, anyway, I was scrolling and then I got sidetracked. Okay. Yeah, that's a good one. Little of everything is back to that again. The hibernation. It is amazing. Okay. Since nobody seems to have any questions they want to talk about tonight, you know what I'm going to do? This will be fun. I am going to pick up my book, Courageously You, and I am going to thumb through here and see what pops up. Okay. Oh, wait, somebody's saying something now. I'm not giving you guys time to ask questions, apparently. They say to count from 5 to 1 when feeling anxious. I have tried this and it has worked. If it didn't, my mind could just keep thinking, and I like that. I can rest this way with grief, loss, or as you said, uncertainty of a situation. Yes, and there are other ways too. One of my favorite things, and I've mentioned this before, but I'm going to mention it again because I can, is when I'm feeling overwhelmed with emotions, I do my surroundings meditation, I call it, which is where I look around my room and I just describe everything that's in my room. I have a picture on the wall. It's green. It's made out of wood. There are this many pieces. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 pieces of wood on it, and painted on it I can see birds, and it looks like cherry blossoms, and the birds have a clear a white belly and an orange and a green, and I just describe everything and it helps me get out of my head. So that's always something to try as well. Okay, you ready? Here I go. I'm going to go through my book and just see what grabs me. Okay. You know what it came to? You guys are going to love this. This is so funny. It came to the page that says embrace your emotions. So, and what it says, and what I have in here in my book, it's called Magical Mind Games. And so I have when to use it and how to use it. So when to use it: when you deny, resist, avoid, ignore, or suppress difficult emotions. Or when you experience positive emotions, but yet your mind searches for the next problem and preventing you from enjoying feeling good. Have you ever experienced that? I know I have, but have you ever? Then it says how to use it. How do you embrace your emotions? Choose to accept and feel every emotion. As you allow the emotion to rise, feel and breathe through it. Get back into the present by connecting with and objectively noticing. Perfect, right? Right? Okay, now there's a message right there from my book. Okay. So tied in with what we've talked about tonight. Okay, let's see. Tina, I'd love a soul reading. Thinking of going on a trip to the mountains. Are there any messages for a trip? Okay, so, everybody, when I do soul readings, what I do, I should have said I could do that. When I do soul readings, I touch in with your soul, see what qualities are important to you as of this moment, and it usually connects with whatever's happening in life right now. And then I just kind of go off and see what my guide says. So Tina, if I touch in with you for a soul reading, the first thing I feel is, okay, what is this? I'm feeling like color green. I'm feeling silver, and green to me means healing and love, and silver to me means spiritual connection as well. And with these energy, I have to say, and it is funny because you said thinking going on a trip to the mountains, or are there any messages for a trip? Because I have to say, and people are going to say, oh, she's cheating, but no, this is how I really feel. So it is what it is. I do feel adventure with you, and I know you love learning, and I know you love going new places, and we all know you love nature and being outside. We all know that. And here's the thing, though. It's almost like you have this restlessness to go places and do things, which is not a bad thing, okay? But it's this feeling of wanting to go and experience new things, which always takes me back to that idea of somebody who really enjoys their life and wants to experience different things. And it's almost like I want to tell you to collect experiences and really enjoy them. And I also understand you're very good about being in the present moment. And even if you do get sucked away someplace, with some worries or something, you can bring yourself back pretty quickly. So I love that about you. And so let's see, any messages for a trip? I say go. I just say go. Okay. Kathy, how do I clear my mind to let spirit in? Ooh, interesting. That's a good question. That's a very good question. So the first thing I would do, if I were you, or me, even for that matter, because this is what I do to let spirit in if I'm going to work as a medium, right? Is I sit down, and what I'm doing is I'm getting out of my head to allow the channel to get stronger. So what I do is I connect with my breath, and I feel my breath in my body, and I count the breaths. And I usually do 11 because I like the number 11. And so I will count 1, and I'll be intentional about my breath. What this does is it calms me down. It gets me out of my head because I'm focused on my body and my breath, which will open my channel. And it helps a lot for me to clear that and get out of my way. I have a lot of thoughts in my head usually. And so this has been very effective for me. And I do it almost every day when I'm doing readings particularly. So that is one way to do that. The next thing is to have the expectation that spirit is there, because spirit comes in as spirit comes in, and spirit will come in, especially if you're wanting to help people. So that is my recommendation. A quick one for today. Evelyn, I have passed through several steps already on my own, and I'm at the trust step now. What does your guide think? Trusting is gigantic. Trusting is amazing. Trusting. I worked on trusting. I set that as an annual intention several years ago, and then it was my annual intention for years. I mean, years, like 4 years, was all about trust. Trust is excellent. Absolutely trust. Okay. Here's the thing. Every single thing that happens gives us an opportunity to trust. So if we have an experience we don't like, we trust that the experience is there for some reason, to learn more about ourselves. I have a strong belief, foundational belief, that everything I experience is leading me to connecting with my soul on a deeper level. That is a foundational belief for me. So if I have an experience I don't like, that is unpleasant or whatever it is, I look at it. I look at the emotions. I look at how I'm interpreting it. I look at what the stories I might be telling myself are. And then I learn. So I'm trusting that my experiences are helping me, even the unpleasant ones. Okay. And it could be as simple, in quotes, as showing the love I have for somebody, if I'm concerned about them or something like that. So trust is ideal. And he, my guide, is all in on that for you as well. And continue on with that. That one, there's so much here, because not only, I guess I have more to say, not only is it trusting our life situations, it's also trusting ourselves to be able to handle them to the best of our abilities. And it's also trusting that we're going to be guided. There's so much here with trust. Trust is a big step, and it's a great step. Continue on, Evelyn. Sharon, how do I find myself after being a caregiver for many years? Intuition seems to be silent. This is what I have learned over the years, especially in my coaching groups. I have this group called Courageously You Coaching. And what I learned in that group years ago was that the more people understood who they were, what they liked, what their thoughts and beliefs were, what they preferred, how they lived, everything. The more they learned about themselves, the stronger their intuition got. And it really opened up their intuition. I was surprised because I did not know that. Okay. And it was after, I think it was the very first group that I had years ago, where all of a sudden everybody was having so much more intuition. So my suggestion for you is connected to how do I find myself, right? How do I find who I really am in there? Is to start simply paying attention to when something happens, what are you thinking? What are you feeling? And kind of be very curious and objective about it and just see. Years and years ago, and I tell the story in my book, Courageously You, I talk about this quite a bit, about how I changed things for myself was, what can I do to make myself feel better? So if something happened that I was upset about, I just asked myself, what can I do to feel better? Sometimes it was changing the story I was telling myself. Sometimes it was changing my perception of the situation or of another person. Sometimes it was about learning how I thought I wasn't good enough and what I could do to change. Maybe it was just learning that I was very judgmental and I needed to adjust that belief or that coping mechanism, whatever it might have been. Okay, so asking myself, what's going on here? What am I really feeling? What's happening? Probably I would expect that if you're struggling to find yourself after being a caregiver, that you kind of say to yourself, I don't know who I am. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing, which takes us back to the uncertain thing. Just accept that you're not really sure who you are right now, and that's okay. But also set an intention that you want to learn who you are. You want to learn more about what you think is important to you. You want to know what your priorities are. You want to know what you like, don't like, and all of that stuff. I would also suggest reading my book, Courageously You, if you haven't read it yet, because there's exercises right in the first few chapters that will help you get more clarity on who you really are. Okay, not who people say you are, but who you really are. So I would suggest that as well, just learning more about yourself. That will help. Kara, I needed to hear this tonight. I need to walk away from a toxic situation. It is the uncertainty that has me struggling to do this. Any guidance or reassurance would be helpful. In her situation, it's a work situation, and this applies to relationships as well, okay? And in this kind of situation, a work situation particularly, frequently, the uncertainty is, how am I going to support myself, right? If we don't have another job, etc. How am I going to do this? We don't want to burn our bridges necessarily. Practical matters, Kara, is making sure, of course, that you have either another position or enough money that you'll be fine until you find another position. Okay, that practical matter, right? Another practical matter is staying in a toxic work situation until the timing is right to leave. A couple things to think about. One is to set that energy bubble up before you start your day, before you get to work. That only positive energy is going to enter your space. That is going to help because the negativity and the toxic stuff that comes at you is not going to affect you as much. Okay, so that's important. Another part of that situation is to go back to that acceptance idea. This is a toxic situation. I'm thinking so fast I can't talk. This is a toxic situation and we can't change it. Okay, I'm sure you've done your best to change it, etc., etc. It's not working. So accepting it's toxic and recognizing the importance of protecting your energy, and that's why we have the energy bubble. So we accept that it is the way it is, which will help you not react as much to it. So we've dealt with, in case you need to stay there a little bit longer, right? And it's not financially feasible to leave at this very moment. Okay. The next step, of course, practical, about looking for another position. Okay. The next step, though, whenever we have to make a tough decision, whether it's leaving a job or a relationship or whatever it is, any tough situation, we are always going to have uncertainty because we don't know what's going to happen. But here's the thing, if we look back on our lives, we can find so many other situations that we didn't know what was going to happen, or we stayed in a situation too long. And then when it finally ended, when we finally moved on, we were like, wow, I should have done this sooner. Look at all these other things that came to me, right? When we stay in a place too long, our energy stagnates and we get stuck. Right? And here's the thing for you especially. I can feel that when you leave, you are going to feel so free. Oh, just free. And I might, if I were you, meditate on that feeling of freedom, right? You are going to feel so free. It will be like your energy is totally different, which is going to help you as you move forward going on. You also know that if you hold on to something for too long, it's just weighing and weighing and weighing and weighing. Okay, and that's why we want to go for that feeling of freedom and the ability to prioritize yourself, your mental health, your physical health, doing what's necessary to protect yourself. That prioritization is going to get so strong with you that you're going to be like, you know what? I know this is the right thing to do. And you're going to know it to such an extent that you're not going to have that emotional attachment to it. You're just going to be like, I know this is the right thing. And then you're just going to do it. Okay, and you are going to feel amazing. You're just going to feel amazing, okay? So, yeah. There's a part of you, I'm calling it the inner rebel. I'm going to have an inner rebel course coming out in a few months. The inner rebel part of you, the part that wants to live its own life, your own life, with that freedom, following your own rules, that part is going to take over for you. Okay, Kara, hope that's helpful. Okay, let's see. Okay, we got a lot more people here now, so... Who do I want? I'm going to skim for a sec. I'm waiting for my guide to stop me. Okay, he did. Amy, I'm going through changes at work and with a move coming soon. Woo, got lots of stuff happening, right? I would love a soul reading and messages that may come through. Right away, what I feel with you is so much. It's interesting. I feel such a sense of kindness with you. And this... I also know that in the past, and I don't know if you're still like this, but this does hang on for all of us who have ever been people pleasers, but I know in the past you've been a bit of a people pleaser, but I also know that you're really coming into your power more and more lately, but I'm feeling a lot of kindness with you, and I'm feeling a lot of your abilities to know how other people are feeling. You have empath abilities. You're obviously an empath to me. And the empath abilities and feeling what's happening with other people. There is a sense coming in of making sure you also prioritize your energy. Okay, there is, with that kindness you have, I can understand that you like to help people. You like to be there. You like to guide them. You like to make sure they're okay. And there's definitely a strong feeling of you helping a lot and maybe putting yourself on the back burner. Let me know if that's right. This is not a bad thing, okay? What this means is we just want to make sure you're protecting your energy, especially if you have a lot of changes going on too. And with the energy out there in the world, the consciousness shift and all the uncertainty that's out there, our own energy is more sensitive than it used to be. And when we have a lot going on, we can feel overwhelmed. And that's probably why he's mentioning that, okay, about protecting your energy and taking care of yourself too. Yeah, you got lots of stuff going on, but I have to tell you, I also feel good about that as well. Just like I did with the other person I was talking to. I feel good about this, okay? Okay, protecting the energy is going to be essential, okay, as things go. Okay. Kim, you know me, and I'm going to repeat myself because that's what I do. Needing a clearer path. When we are on our path, whatever it might be, and we're wanting a clearer path, that means we are attached to wanting that clearer path. We want to know what to do, right? We do. And here with the current energy, the consciousness shift is all about trusting we're going to be led. Okay, so my guide is wanting me to affirm to you the importance of trusting that your perfect path is going to show up. And now here's the thing which is really fun about our path, because we all hate when we hear that answer, right? We all do. Everybody does the way it is. Okay, what we want to do is instead take a step towards something that seems fun, enjoyable, whatever, right? And I said something like this last night in the soul guidance readings, I believe, that when we do choose, okay, I got to backtrack, he says. Backtracking. So we want that clearer path. What happens is our energy gets clogged because we're thinking about that so much. So what we want to do is free up our energy, lighten it up. We want to shift the energy out of, I want this, I need this, So instead, we set that aside. We go, okay, put it over here. I know I want a clearer path, but I'm going to trust it's coming. So what we want to do then is to change our energy and make our energy lighter. So to do that, that's when we go do something fun, enjoyable. I've been harping on this for the past, 6-8 months or something, it seems, maybe longer. I have no concept of time anymore. So I've been harping on it because it's so important for us. Because when we do something fun, something we enjoy, our energy changes, right? We feel happier. So when we're looking for a path, we're focused on that, our energy starts to get heavy because that's what we're thinking about. We want it. Okay, when we want something, our energy gets heavy, okay, especially when we're attached. Obviously, we can set a goal, put it there, and not be attached to it, then our energy will not be heavy. So that's what we want to do, right? have a path, not be attached to it, and go, okay, I'd like a path. Thank you for leading me. I'm going to go over here and have some fun. Well, you all figure it out on the other side, or your spirits or your guides or whoever's going to figure it out for you. Let them figure it out. You trust they're going to figure it out. And in the meantime, you're just going to have a good time. Make your energy light, because when your energy gets lighter, they can drop that path right in front of you, right? It's so much easier to see because we're in a different space. So we take a step and we see what happens. We're going to practice trusting. Ooh, I know we don't like that answer totally, but at least you'll have more fun. Okay, let's see what else we've got. Teresa. So is a soul reading a reading that basically looks deeper into ourselves instead of surface level, or what's going on around us in the physical world? A soul reading is who you are at your soul level. And what that means to me, as they have given me, is that you came into this physical earth to express certain qualities. Everybody who's alive right now is here to express certain qualities into this world. Usually they're a variation of love. We do have some other people out there, it's not quite like that, but that's their path and not ours. So it's usually some variation. We are here to spread peace, to love people, to spread joy and fun, to have a good time, to enjoy our lives, whatever it is. So soul reading is who you are at that level. And lots of times those qualities, how they pertain to physical life. So for example, if somebody is a giver, okay, they love to give to other people, they will find that people tend to take advantage of them. And until they learn to put their boundaries up and not allow people to take advantage of them, they'll keep giving and keep getting irritated. But those challenging parts of our lessons are there to help us get back to recognizing I'm a giver, but I don't have to give too much. I don't have to let people take advantage of me. So those are some examples. Okay. Yolanda, I live in fear of losing my spouse and wish I could go first so I don't have to deal with it. Okay, Yolanda, you've been here enough times with me. You know what I'm going to say, right? You do, don't you? Right? We got to let that fear go. Yes, it could happen. And yes, it might not happen. Whenever we live in fear that something is going to happen, we're back to the uncertainty thing, right? Whenever we do that, we are constraining our energy. We're dragging ourselves down. It starts to affect us in so many different ways. Instead, what we want to do is focus on the present moment. Just focus on the now. Enjoy what we have now. People who have gone through serious illnesses, okay, have gone through serious illnesses and life-threatening things, so many of them learn during that time the importance of focusing on the now, the present moment, and enjoying it. They wake up in the morning and they listen to the birds. They get to go outside, and so many people have told me that when they had a serious illness, cancer or something, that it really shifted their perspective on life to focus and make that choice to enjoy what they have right now. And even though they don't want to have gone through what they've gone through, they have been able to look at the situation and get the good out of it, where now they're more appreciative of life. So I would suggest that you let go of that fear. Be intentional and go, I'm setting that aside. I'm not doing it. And instead, I am going to enjoy where I am right now. Right now. Even if things are happening, you can still do this. Okay, life is full of uncertainty, and we really don't know what's going to happen. So why do we have to keep focusing on not knowing, right? We don't. So we don't have to focus on not knowing. Okay, let me continue on looking down here. Patricia, if you have a life-altering decision to make, and it's not, you don't have to make a decision right now, this minute. Set it aside. Give yourself a week, 2, a month, whatever, and think about it then. Let your mind to work on it without you helping. Okay, don't help anymore. Okay, trying to get your guide to help you is helping. You're trying to go, okay, tell me the answer, tell me the answer, tell me the answer. What should I do? And if it's not imminent that you absolutely have to have a decision this moment, then don't make the decision. Just don't. Because what we need to do now is get your mind clear. We got to get your mind clear. Okay. Really. Trust me on this. I know this. Okay. This works. I've had so many coaching clients do this, and it's really helped them get their mind clear. And usually what happens, like say you set a deadline of a month away or something, by the time that month comes up, all of your answers, it's already taken care of itself. And then you didn't have all that worry going on in your brain and all the confusion going on anymore, because it just took care of itself during that time you were taking time off from thinking about it and looking for the answer. I know it's so hard, everybody, to trust that it's going to work. And I know it's really hard sometimes to do that. And I know lots of times we go, I don't want to do that, and you have that right, and you have free will, and you can decide not to listen to anything I say. You don't have to listen to anything. Okay. But one thing I want to tell you is everything I teach, and it's a lot of things, is because I've had them all. I've had them all. Anything I ever talk about, I've experienced it, right? So anything I use as a strategy, I've used. I've shared with my coaching clients in my coaching groups. I've shared at my retreat in May. I've shared wherever. So there's so much here. So consider my ideas. Okay, you don't have to do what I tell you, of course, right? You don't. Yeah, so some of you, I think you'd really enjoy my retreat. It's so much fun. Okay. Oh, what time is it? Oh, my goodness me. See? Oh, yes. Melissa. Yeah, we saw that Nick passed. That was, yes, a surprise. Yeah, it is difficult. Just know that with Nick, he will be around you. You don't have to worry about that. He's probably right next to you right now. I know that. Courtney, my inner rebel is strong. Yes. Okay, Kara, I'm glad that was helpful. Yeah, Melissa, surrendering is tricky. But, so much of our choices, as long as we make that choice to do our best with it, we get help. The universe helps us. And so isn't that awesome? I mean, it is so awesome. Okay, so you guys, it is 9:00, so I guess I should stop talking. So I will be here next week. I don't know what I'm talking about, but we'll find out. Spirit lets me know, and we'll talk about that. And I will set up a new soul guidance reading session for people. I got some good stuff coming up. Unstuck class, I'll let you know about it. Same thing with the inner rebel stuff. But the Reimagine Your Life retreat, it is so much fun. So come and join us, and we'll help you let go of whatever is in your way. You'll get more clarity on your ideal life. You'll find out what you really want out of life, and you're going to make some awesome friends. Awesome friends right there in Niagara Falls. It's going to be amazing. So anyway, check that out. May 29th through the 31st. It's going to be beautiful weather, and literally we are steps from the falls. It's going to be so much fun. You get a little gift bag because I like shopping for the retreat, so there'll be lots of fun things there, and we will do so many fun. Just so much fun. Thank you, Joe. Thank you for your kind words. Amy, I'm spot on. Oh, good. I wasn't supposed to be home from work yet. I feel that this was so meant to be. You know one thing? When I send out my newsletter on Tuesday, how many people respond to me and tell me this is just what I needed to hear? Or on my radio show, when somebody says, this is just what I need to hear. This is why I trust Spirit. Like if I don't know what I'm going to talk about in my newsletter or here, I just wait. And then eventually they tell me what to talk about. And then I sit down at my desk, and then I go, okay, let's go. And then they tell me what to say, and then I make notes and get it all out there on the page. I tell you, it's so much easier to trust than try to do it all myself. I am living proof of this, you guys. I've been doing this for over 25 years. I'm so much better than I used to be. I was a big control freak, people pleaser, like pretty heavy duty, and it's so much better. So I'm so glad that helped you, Amy. You can continue writing comments here, and if you're interested in the retreat and want more information, let me know, and I will just send you more information about it. And same thing, if you're interested in the soul guidance readings, let me know. It's a small group of 10 people, 2 hours. I had it scheduled for an hour and a half, but it was 2 hours. Sorry. I had a lot to say. So it'll be 2 hours for the next one. But if a lot of people want it, I'll schedule a couple of them. Okay, if you really want it, let me know. Write it in the comments, though, because if you don't want it, I'm not going to do it. Okay, Kim, I do need to do something fun. Coming off of shoulder surgery, and a job may not be there when I get ready to return. Actually, not too concerned about that, Kim. We'll see. Okay, you are welcome. Okay, so whatever else, Reimagine Your Life Retreat. Greg has stuck it in there. Again, for those of you who are trying to find out who you are, this is all based on my life I know that that's not an egotistical thing. I'm telling you, it's my experiences. I tell you things in there that happened to me, and some of you are going to go, oh my, that happened to me too. And then how I handled things and what I learned. And this, I still, as I did tonight, open it up and I go, oh, that's amazing. There's so much good, helpful information in there, especially if you want to know who you are. Okay, I really have to stop talking. Thank you. I'm so glad you all joined me tonight. Thank you, Julie. I really am very happy you guys joined me tonight. Wait a minute. Hold on 2 seconds. I'm seeing an interesting comment. Okay, Joe, I have to stop talking, but I would love to talk to you about that. Come back next week. I'll make a note, but I have to stop. So thank you again for joining me tonight. Check out my retreat, Reimagine Your Life. Create the life you can't wait to wake up to is the tagline. And that's what it's all about. Oh, so much fun. Anyway, I'm so excited about it. I can hardly wait. I will see you guys next week. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. Have lots of fun. And anytime you get caught in uncertainty, remember acceptance. Accept and then go through the rest of the steps. We'll see you soon. Bye.